We are live 364 days a year.
What are we doing here?
If Dom turns at SummerSlam, I'm shaving my moustache off. I've told you, if that happens, it's going. My lip is cold because of a stupid bet that I made with YouTube.
Oh, good.
Wrestle's better than Daniel Bryan Daniels. Better than Okada.
How did not get sushi after Monday Night Raw?
Welcome to Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, a show where a rotating cast of wrestling fans from around the world come and share and debate their opinions, with live comments from all of you shown throughout, as after all, fans are what makes wrestling so special. So sit back, grab a beverage, and enjoy the show.
What's going on, everybody? We are back once again with another edition of Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast. It is Saturday, December 6th. And I'm fired up to be here as always. We are going to break down last night's SmackDown, all kinds of other good stuff when it comes to today's show. But first and foremost, let me introduce the cast, my friends, to you. Let me send this one to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, that is, to a good friend of mine who I haven't seen in quite some time. And that's Anthony Ricciardi, Mr. Head of Opinions. How are you, my friend? Good to see you as always. Happy
I'm doing
Saturday.
all right. I'm glad you emphasized that because there's technically Philadelphia, Mississippi. I don't know. No, the real original one. I'm looking forward to doing this. It's been a while, Clark, since you and I have done anything in a while. I do want to say one quick thing because it's not on the topics. This was one quick thing with the Damian Priest Rhea thing last night. I know it's a pre-tape, which is why this is egregious to me. Rhea saying that Zelina signed her death wish. You don't sign death wishes. You sign death warrants. How did no one catch that?
Yeah, that was a whiff. Woof. I didn't even think about that, Ant, and I'm totally with you. Also hanging out with us today, though, finally with a perfect microphone, and I'm just stoked because we've got him. It's not just Davis, it's Ben Davis, and good to see you. How are you, my friend?
I am good. I got my bucket hat on. I'm ready to hop on a flight to Washington, D.C., see Shad, see a couple of people from the crew. Ready to talk about SmackDown. We got a lot to talk about. We got some hot topics today.
No doubt about it. Let's get into it. We got a few comments here out of the gates. We've got Chris Evans with WWE Night Job Day is the day us, and now we just
I tried to read that pre-show. I don't know what that
I don't know what that is. We've got Let's Go Cena, though, from J Wavy Surfing. Laughs for days. For days. I love that. Yes, laughs for days and Let's Go Cena. Also, DCX Warlord. Yes, the beard is gone, only temporarily, though. That's the nice thing is the hair does grow back. It's not like a chia pet where you have to like water it and stuff. And then we've also got Fernando Zayas in the comments with good afternoon, WR crew. Good afternoon, Fernando. Good to have you back. Good to be back. No doubt about it. And SmackDown was fire last night. Yes, for sure. But let's get right into our first topic because I have quite a few things to say. If you know me at all about this one, let me talk to you really quickly about Cody Rhodes facing the winner of Obafemi and Ricky Saints. So look, Ricky Saints hasn't been booked necessarily as the antidote for Obafemi thus far. He beat him once, and then Oba got his comeuppance, and this is where we're at. But I made Care Bears jokes headed into Survivor Series about what was going on. I made a bazillion Care Bears jokes. The fact that Roman Reigns had to team with Cody Rhodes and all of this. And a band that I'm a fan of, the Rolling Stones, wrote a song called You Can't Always Get What You Want. What I didn't realize is that the real lyrics were, unless you're Cody Rhodes. So we can have the buddy party with Ricky Saints. That's what we're going to get now. Ricky Saints beats Obafemi and he gets to wrestle his buddy on TV on WWE. And that's what we're going to do. That's how we're booking this. Come on. Why? Obafemi, Cody off the charts. Other than there's no way Cody's going to put Oba over. So it has to be Ricky Saints. It's got to be his buddy. We've worked ourselves into this corner now where Ricky Saints is going to have one more victory over Obafemi than Obafemi has over Ricky Saints. And he's going to get to wrestle Cody Rhodes on John Cena's last card. If this wasn't booked on a bus, I don't know what was. That's all I'm saying. Ant, I'm going to start with you, though.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any shot it could be Obafemi?
Well, for you, you want it to be Oba so that if Cody beats him, then you have another rant to use. No, the logic behind this is an homage to Cena's debut against Kurt Angle, an established talent. Like that's what it's supposed to be. To me, I do think it's probably going to be Ricky Saints because, like you said, Clark, I don't think necessarily they're going to have Oba beat Cena. The interesting part is they didn't say it was for the title. They just said he was facing him. So if it's non-title, then yeah, maybe Obi does pick up the win if it does go that route. To me, how I'd book it, I loved Cody's attack on Drew last night because it was aggressive. And I still think this is all leading to an eventual Homelander Cody. I think we're seeing the seeds for that. What I would love to see happen, do I think they're going to do it? No, because they probably want the feel-good Cena thing for the last show. What I would like to do, if they're insisting on doing Cena as the opener and doing the Cody match as the closer, close it with Cody beating Ricky Saints badly, bloody even. Let him become Homelander on that show. All the focus is on Cena. No, the future's now. Like that's what I would do. That's how you get the most out of this, is if you do that. Because if it's just an exhibition match of two friends and the NXT champion against the WWE champion, that's not, to me, that's not as appealing as seeing the turn. I don't see a turn against Oba, but I could see a turn against Ricky, and it adds to the element of it because they're legit friends in real life. Make the most impact of this. Have him do the turn then.
I love that idea because I think that's my greatest fear, Ant, is, you know what, worst case scenario, you said that I would love Obafemi there, and then if Cody goes over, I can complain about it. No.
Yes.
Oh,
No.
No, it gets way worse than that. Believe
Okay.
you me when it comes to that. Because what you just suggested, and what scares me to death, you mentioned Cody obviously attacking Drew in the car.
Yes.
Blindsiding him and the aggressiveness and all of that, right?
We've been seeing it little by little, yeah.
Just a bit of a different attitude from Mr. Rhodes of late. I swear to you, though, if they book this match, Cody Rhodes versus Ricky Saints, and the comeuppance is Drew McIntyre interrupts the match in some way, interferes in the match in some way.
So there's no winner.
And it's an exhibition. It's an exhibition. It's non-title. Just so we can put a feather in Ricky Saints' cap that he's got a victory over Cody Rhodes. That is the worst thing that Cody Rhodes has done since he's been in WWE. If that is the result, that Monday will be ugly. That Monday show will not look like a normal Monday show. Mailbag or not, I don't care how much mail we get. I will be on my horse riding through a town like it's medieval times, swinging a battle axe. I'll be so upset. It is going to be, that would be the lowest point in my career as a wrestling broadcaster. There's no doubt if Ricky Saints somehow, by the hands of Drew McIntyre, being a heel and being the cockroach that he is, beats Cody Rhodes, I'll lose my mind on that Monday. But before we unpack that too much,
I just want to say one quick thing.
Go for it.
Because they're both baby faces, you know Drew's going to take them both out. So it's probably going to be a no contest. It's not going to be. It's not going to be the DQ.
Not in an exhibition. I don't think it's a DQ. I think he hits him with a Claymore with a distracted ref, and Ricky Saints pins him.
So you think Ricky Saints turns heel?
No, I don't think he knows. I don't think he sees. I don't think he sees. Okay. He doesn't know.
Gotcha.
He didn't see when. And this is how that no good Cody Rhodes on a bus gets Ricky Saints, his buddy, over. You want to talk about the real Care Bears? It's Cody and all the bus boys. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Davis, though, I have to ask you about all of this. Cody versus either Saints or Oba. How do you see this going down? What did you think about the way they delivered it last night? And then what do you think the results are? Because obviously you're heading to that show. Countdown's on, my friend.
I love every bit of this. I love Cody versus Ricky. I love Cody versus Oba. I don't think we get it. I think there is a big foreshadow of things to come. There's a reason why Drew was involved last night. I do think Drew McIntyre gets involved in some capacity tonight. I think we get some kind of Oba Drew McIntyre team versus Cody and Ricky. To me, that's the best case scenario. You get to showcase Oba and Ricky, and you get to also showcase Cody and Drew, which are the nows and the probably 2 to 3 year future. I would love to see Cody versus Oba. I would love to see Cody versus Ricky. I just don't think we get it. Those two matches are actually pretty big matches you can save at a later date. I think we get a tag match. I think we get Cody and Ricky over Oba and Drew McIntyre.
I love that. Okay. Here's the thing, though. Oba Femi's supposed to be the ruler. So how he gets lost in this shuffle is where I'm so frustrated. And I want to ask you guys really quickly, both of you. And Davis, I'll go right back to you on this one, though. Oba Femi's got to be debuting on the main roster at some time soon. So it is logical for him to drop this NXT title here to Ricky Saints. I would keep him as far away from this match as possible at the end of the day, if it's my call, because it doesn't do anything for Oba Femi to go and wrestle Cody Rhodes unless he's going to squash him. Unless he's going to squash him like a bug.
That's why I do think we do get a tag match. I think what John Cena hinted on Monday night a few weeks ago, they want to showcase the future. Oba Femi is the future. Oba Femi's ceiling is way higher than a lot of already main roster ceiling. Showcasing him now when the most eyes, I think, on a PLE or a premium live event, whatever Saturday night main event is, this is going to have the most eyes besides a WrestleMania. It's Cena's bringing all these. Showcasing Oba Femi is going to be, out of those four men, Oba Femi has the bigger ceiling in the next 10 to 15 years. We could probably argue higher than Braun Breaker, another discussion.
And that's where, hang on, now I've got an interesting question, because we still do have to have this Oba Femi Ricky Saints match. Obviously, with the storytelling, this would actually be pretty clever. And Ant, I want to ask you about this potentially. I mean, Drew is suspended from SmackDown, but not NXT. Does he insert himself into this match between Ricky and Oba somehow and make an appearance on a card tonight that, you know, isn't exactly the most stacked NXT PLE card? Do you have any thoughts on the potential of that?
Here's the problem with that. I agree with, I mean, if Drew gets involved post-match, then I could see if they're setting up the tag match of it's Oba and Drew against Cody and Ricky. Let's say they're doing that row. I don't know if you're going to do that. Oba is such a unique special talent. Like, he is a once in a generation type cat. Like, I see a lot of potential in him. He was the king of the triple threats. Honestly, I would not put him in the match with Cody. I don't think that's the logical move, especially if Cody's going over or it's going to be a non-finish or whatever they're going to do, because people will be complaining about that if it's a non-finish. People complain regardless. But what I would do with Oba, honestly, when you put him on the main roster, have him come in for the open challenge of Dragunov's US title and have him destroy Dragunov and have him go, I'll continue the open challenge, but have him be triple threats. Like, have him just demolish people, because that's what the character is. Do you want to establish the ruler on the main roster? Have him do what he was doing in NXT. Have him destroy people until he meets another monster, which would probably be Jacob Fatu.
You just got my creative wheels spinning, though. You know what I would absolutely adore? Because I agree, Dragunov is the exact right route. But you know what I would adore? Because I don't think I've ever seen it done before. He wins, and then he's going to keep the open challenge going. And then he goes out to the ring for the open challenge, and people don't. People are like, no one comes out. He can't get anyone to. They're all afraid to. On the nobody wants to wrestle Oba Femi.
I think what you do,
that would be cool.
If I'm booking long term, let's say Oba has this dominant rate, like, he has to destroy a couple people first, then people won't accept the challenge because they saw him destroy people. That's what I think you do until you get Rey Fenix. And
Yeah,
you
there you go.
kind of do the Rey Mysterio, Kevin Nash, giant killer type deal where he's fighting from underneath. That establishes both guys.
I'd
If
be
you're
all over
able to
that.
make that done correctly.
And I like the idea too of, you know what I think would be kind of funny if you go the route of people are afraid to answer the open challenge because it's Obafemi. You could sort of have Nick Aldis use it as like punishment, almost like Teddy Long used to with the Undertaker.
You go one-on-one.
Well, now you have to answer. If you want that, you've got to answer the open challenge.
Oh yeah.
Right. And you can build in so many fun things. That is the way you deliver Obafemi for sure.
Bingo.
Okay, but we do have to keep it rolling on today's show because we have a ton of stuff to break down.
Yes.
Tommaso Ciampa.
Mm-hmm.
Or Tommaso Ciampa. I haven't. Have I been saying it wrong or right? I've heard it 9 different ways in my lifetime. Ciampa,
like
Tommaso, like Tom Ciampa. I don't know. Either way, he costs Carmelo Hayes the U.S. title in this one. I've enjoyed this open challenge. I've enjoyed Dragunov. I will say, even his entrance. I don't understand how he's such a baby face. Like he's out here playing an orchestra. And I'm like, what makes me like relate to that guy? You know, like, don't get me wrong. I love John Hughes movies. They use great orchestras, but at the same time, it's not the 80s anymore. And for me, I just Mello deserves better than this, I think. Because what is this now? A Mello Ciampa rivalry? Or is this Ciampa trying to insert himself into the U.S. title picture? I'm not totally sure. The match was well wrestled. We've got a lot of great wrestlers in the ring, but Ant, I want to get your thoughts on all of it because I was more confused on, so does this mean Ciampa's looking for Dragunov or is he just trying to sabotage Mello?
I think this is about the U.S. title. And I think I like it because what Gunther was able to do with the IC title, Dragunov's doing with the U.S. You know, he's having a dominant reign. He's having matches of the week, no matter who he's facing every week. And it works. The open challenge works with Dragunov. He's the type of workhorse character. I do find it ironic that the IC and the US title kind of workhorse belts. And the two that have kind of brought them back into prominence are two of the most dominant NXT UK champions. I like the fact that there's multiple people gunning for this thing. Like, all of a sudden, Ciampa has gotten very much like NXT Ciampa, where he wants Goldie, and is trying to stop anybody from getting this title but him. And Mello was kind of the casualty of this. This was also a reigniting of the feud between between Mello and Dragunov when they feuded over the NXT championship, which Michael Cole brought up last night. So I like this, and pulling more people into the U.S. title is the same thing they did with the tag titles. And people gained interest of like, okay, the SmackDown tag division's stacked. Start doing it with the secondary, the U.S. title. And I'm completely fine with this. If this is going a direction, it's probably going to lead to a ladder match or something because that's what things seem to go that direction. For this stuff, but I'm okay with it if this is all about the U.S. title. If you're going to set up different challengers, they all want it for different reasons, but they all want it. And then, you know, if you do Oba, like he's just squashing everybody. Like I'm very optimistic of the U.S. title under the current what they're doing with it than I've ever been in a long time for that belt.
It is unique in that way. And I also think, Monster shout out, we're on the John Cena tour. We're at the end of it right now. But
Yes.
I do believe what he did for the open challenge aspect of that title.
I love that they're continuing
and sort
that.
of, keeping that. It's sort
Tied
of
to
like
it.
a piece that John left in a cool way. I think that's one of the smartest booking decisions that WWE's made all year. Dragunov has done an excellent job of carrying it. There's no doubt. The hard part is for him to find a rivalry. And we got to get one of those because there's a reason we didn't see him at Survivor Series. There's a reason he wasn't on that PLE. And that's because you're not going to book an open challenge in an open stadium with 45,000 people at a PLE like that, because you're just not going to put that on the card. And that was a logical fifth match if you had the time.
Yeah.
But this is the only issue with it, is I would actually like to see someone attempt to answer the challenge maybe more than one time, even further, continue to do it, and not be allowed to. Let's put some more rules in that make it a little bit. That'd be my only complaint, because I love the idea of this. Now, we could talk about this the rest of the day, because also, Davis, I know you're a big Cena fan, but we do need to keep it rolling here on the show, because we've got some women's division stuff to talk about. And first and foremost, let's talk about Jade Cargill and Alba Fire. And I'm just going to say this. I don't usually toot my own horn on this show. A lot of people think that I really enjoy myself in the comments section when you see some of the short form clips, but I really kind of believe that I'm an idiot. But I've been saying it for years. The only way to book Jade Cargill is to have her be dominant and to have her absolutely run through the division. And that needs to happen. This was the first. Bless Alba Fire for her role in all of this. I enjoyed this thoroughly. That's exactly what a Jade Cargill match should look like. Until Jade needs to be tested by somebody that can match her physicality, she needs to absolutely run through every single person in this division. And it was the first step, and I loved it. Davis, I got to ask you, though. Did you feel the same? And what were your thoughts as far as Jade versus Alba and then the future of this Jade Cargill run?
I'm a little torn with how I feel about Jade in this run. At one point, I do agree with you. She needs to get these wins. She needs to stack the wins. She needs to be dominant in the women's division. I do think all roads lead to Bianca Belair, but it's a very confusing road, because the last time they left off, they were best friends. It was Bianca being the special guest referee for Naomi and Jade. And it's just very confusing on how we get there. Do we have Bianca win the Royal Rumble? Do we have Bianca win the Elimination Chamber again? Do we rerun that? Where does Tiffany fit in? Is it a triple threat match? I think if we're going to start that road, we need to start it for Bianca coming up in the near future, because you do have to get the eventual turn on Jade to Bianca. I don't know how that story will go, though. And because I on paper, it's a great story, but I just don't know if Jade looks as dominant as she needs to be, because she's only beaten like an Alba Fire, and it looks like a road to a Michin. She needs to have a one more dominant win on Tiffany Stratton. I think she does need to revisit the Charlotte feud. She needs to dominate Charlotte and then face Bianca. Jade has a lot of legs to grow here, and they can't let the foot off the gas here. For her to look dominant going into a WrestleMania, they need to be all bingo chips to the front.
I love that, and I hear where you're coming from. The one thing I will add, though, when it comes to this, I think Bianca's the answer. She's the end game, but it's too soon. She needs to run through. You named some names. I think the majority of the roster. Put everyone in front of her and have everybody fall.
The other interesting part of this is I did see Jade gave an interview. The same thing that I've suggested on here before. Apparently, according to her, she sent feelers, or somebody sent feelers about her possibly playing Storm in a Marvel movie, which might slightly derail, depending upon when they want to do something. It may derail. I don't know how quickly they want to do that if she gets it, but that would be a huge thing for her. I 100% agree. She needs to squash Tiffany. I really don't see anything. I don't see anything truly there compared to Jade. Like, Jade's the money. Tiffany, they tried to do the babyface thing. She didn't believe it, so the audience didn't believe it. And they kind of already had the snobbish woman. Like, I don't know what they're going to do with her long term, but Jade, I see a lot of potential in.
Jade, that's the thing. I think she needs to continue to win dominantly. Yes. Fernando added here, Jade versus Bianca or Jade versus Rhea at Mania. Yeah, those are the only two in the company that I think you can book opposite on a poster. So, in boxing or in mixed martial arts and whatnot, you always have the stare down. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you can just tell when two people stand across from each other. Jade and Bianca are the only two that I think realistically can stand. Or I'm sorry, Bianca and Rhea are the only two that I believe realistically can stand across from Jade Cargill and make me believe, okay, it's an even playing field.
Comparable, yeah. I think another person you could mention, I do think her and Nia could be interesting because they've sort of teased that, and that's kind of like the bigger person. Like I think you might be able to get some legs with that.
And this is a good call from Donnie. I hear you there too. There's obviously massive money in Rhea versus Io at Mania. That has to happen. I mean, come on, man. No. I think we're speaking outside of that context.
Thinking long term
on that, Donnie, because I'm in full agreement. He also added, I've heard conflicting stories about Bianca, and one person said her injury is so bad she can't make a fist. That is no fun. And believe me, as complicated as hand and like foot injuries and things like that are. It's one of those I can relate to. I had a really bad torn ligament in my hand back in the day, and you know, it takes time, right? And broken fingers and all of that, like it does. And so that no knock on Bianca in any way. She's done a heck of a job. Whoa, Fernando's saying he doesn't think Jada Storm will be dope. No way.
They don't even have to do anything with her.
They just have to give her the uniform. She is still saying that could be a long time she comes back, if ever. That's a hand injury.
I won't go that
people
far.
have worked. I mean, you know, Ronnie Lott cut his own finger off in a game and came back in the same game, Donnie. So let's give a little more credit where it's due. Bianca's a heck of an athlete. I don't know if she needs to be able to make a full fist to prove that to the world. Knowing Bianca Belair, I'm not with that one at all. Absolutely not. He said it. He meant to say it would be dope. See, I was like, that is
all right. Yeah, it didn't make any sense. Okay, yeah.
No. That's on it. It's on it. Well, who says she can't grab a person? By the way, I'm just saying you didn't say that. You said she can't make a fist. You only need to make a fist to punch a person. You can grab somebody without making a full fist.
She also has the hair whip.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. We're better than that here, at least. On like the never coming back thing. Come on, not an athlete of Bianca's caliber. No way. There's not a hand injury bad enough. You could cut the hand off. She'll figure out a way to work around it. That's my belief.
We've had guys come back with neck injuries.
Yeah, I mean, you could cut. She could lose the hand. And
look at Zach Gallen.
that one way darker.
And she'll make it back. I assure you on that one. It's Bianca Belair. Come on, dude. It's one of the best athletes we've ever seen enter professional wrestling. It's just an absolute fact. Like, go look at her resume collegiately, and you know what I mean.
Pure athlete.
Yeah,
without question.
All SEC. Stop it. Tennessee. All of that. She's as good as anybody in the business. Davis, obviously, I haven't even asked you about this one too much yet. Besides, you know, the brief conversation we had. But do you think there's any chance that Bianca doesn't come back?
No,
like, come on.
Yeah, I think I made the Zach Gallen because he wrestled with one leg, but I don't think she can work around it. There's ways to work around it. We see it in football. We see it. Undertaker wrestled with the cast. I'm surprised she hasn't casted it up if she can. I think that's an option. That could be a pretty good weapon too.
Cody Rhodes with a torn pec, right? I mean, come on. Like, I think it's too early for sure to put Bianca on the shelf permanently.
Here's the other thing. If you don't have a storyline for her right now, then what's the point of having her on TV injured? Like, and working hurt? Like, what's the logic if you don't necessarily have a story for her to be in? It's a waste of time. Let her just heal up.
Exactly. I'm 100% with you there. I mean, look, the injury bug caught the WWE this year. That's that's a fact too, right? I mean,
yes.
Seth Rollins, it's happened over and over and over and over again, and it does happen. It's a physical endeavor that we're all here a part of when it comes to wrestling.
It's not ballet
inside of the ring, right? Yeah, 100%. And yeah, I just personally, I don't see a scenario where Bianca is done forever over a hand injury. Like, I think Bianca Belair, being the athlete that she is, even if it doesn't heal all the way right, can figure that one out. No doubt about it. But speaking of things we need to figure out, let's talk about one last time. One final opponent, and it's official. It will not be LA Knight. Yeah, it's going to be Gunther. And he cut a promo about watch the way that I finished this match. Although he tried to finish it by not submission like 5 times. That's the funniest part to me is he tells the great story in the promo. And bless Gunther because the promo was off the charts. But he's like, watch the way I finish it. He gets him in the cravat. It's gorgeous. LA Knight taps out. That's the story we're telling. Never give up. I'm going to make you finally give up. But then why'd you try to pin him with the power bomb? That's what do you mean? Watch the way that I beat him. Like, you're supposed to be the ring general, right? And if you're the ring general, then you would assume that psychologically you would just be chasing the submission late in the match like that. But no, he didn't care how he finished him. He didn't. At least not as far as the match went. Tried to finish him via clothesline. Tried to finish him via roll-up. Tried to finish him via powerbomb. Tried to finish him via suplex. All of those things happened. And for the king of psychology, Gunther, I was disappointed in that. My hope is, against John Cena one final time, that this thing is perfect. I'm not totally sure about the matchup, though, myself. Now, Davis, I'm going to start with you and ask you about this. Then I'm going to toss it to you, Ant, and we're going to bring it around the horn. But, dude, what do you think? You're as big of a Cena fan as we have here at WR. You're headed to the match this week. What do you think going in with Gunther? What did you think about last night?
For weeks and months, I have said, I don't want Gunther. I don't want Gunther. I said it against Javon Evans. I said it against LA Knight. I wake up at 4 a.m. and our good friends over at WR, David makes a good point. And this is the picture perfect heel. Clark, Anthony, I've been a wrestling fan for 30 years. And it's been a very long time since I felt this emotion, and I love it. I'm going to a big fight match to where I hate the person going against Cena. And that's what wrestling used to be, and I miss that feeling. I miss that Triple H heel. Hats off to creative for bringing this out. A lot of people will say Gunther can't cut a promo. I can argue differently. I don't like Gunther's style. It's not something I'd love every day to watch. But for this scenario, for John Cena to be Super Cena and Gunther to be the villain, this was a match made in heaven. This was, and shout out to tomorrow's show. This is going to bring a lot of emotion to where I'm going to have nerves going like before the show. This is going to be lights out. I'm hoping Cena wins. But yeah, I love this. Shout out to David, one of the greater wrestling minds, for pointing this out, not just over here in WR, but just in general from what I've seen, for pointing this out and just kind of changing my perspective.
100%. And I hear where you're coming from. It is one of the best in-ring wrestlers of the recent era, against arguably the biggest superstar of all time, if not the greatest of all time, as people like to call him. I am fascinated by it. Give me your early prediction really quickly before I ask Anthony about this.
I think we're going to see a lot of close finishes. We're going to see a lot of attitude adjustments. I think we end with Cena rolling up and doing 3 attitude adjustments and ending Gunther. And Gunther being the one shaking his hand. I think long-term for Gunther, there's a collision course with the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar, and someone's got to be a face there. This is Gunther's face turn. This is Gunther getting the crowd behind him. This is Cena's perfect send-off. This is going to draw a lot of emotion out of a lot of fans.
I hear you there 100%. Let me run through some comments too before I toss it to you, Ant, because we're going to get all 3 of our early predictions as well. We've got a good friend of the show and good friend of my own, Adrian Tarpley. What's going on, Adrian? Good to have you as always. His goal was to get Cena to make him tap. Doesn't matter how he gets to him. That's fair. Totally fair. And then he said, if you're giving a new guy the person to end him, Gunther is always perfect in that role. That is fair too. And then the ring, the NRL from DCX Warlord. But and I got to get your early prediction, your thoughts on the final of the tournament with LA Knight, as well as what it looks like for Gunther. There was an interesting suggestion there by Davis. Somebody's got to wrestle Brock Lesnar. Is that Gunther? And I know that's 3 questions at once, but do your best.
Yeah, I'll do what I can. The match itself, the Gunther LA Knight match, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the tournament as a whole because you didn't know who was going to be in it and when. You kind of knew Gunther was going to win this thing. I know people want to complain. I didn't want Jey Uso. I didn't want Gunther. I wanted LA Knight. No, you didn't. You wanted LA Knight. Why? And I like LA Knight, but realistically, he's not the future. He's also in his mid 40s, and he's got I think Cena has 2-3 years on him. I don't think it's a huge difference. Gunther is somebody that's still, I think, technically in his 30s or very late 30s, if I'm not mistaken. But Gunther is somebody that knows how to work and make somebody look really good. He did it with Goldberg. In my opinion, that was Goldberg's second best match of his entire career. His other one being DDP at Halloween Havoc, which DDP should have won. Side note. But Gunther's really good at that. Gunther is the guy that retired Goldberg. He is the guy that was the most dominant, I think, longest reigning NXT UK champion, or I think he was the longest. It's either him or Dragunov. The longest reigning IC champion. He's going to be their guy that retires John Cena. He's got probably another 5 to 10 years of a career. Who knows what more he could do? He's probably going to retire AJ Styles at this rate. I love that Gunther's the guy that's getting rid of all the legends, because long term, because everyone's thinking chess. Oh, LA Knight. If you're thinking long term, if that whoever eventually retires Gunther, all that lineage that Gunther accomplished, that person now just beat that guy. That elevates somebody else long term. That's how you do it. My guess on the match itself is that Cena is very much a traditionalist. I would think his preference would be to be going out on his back and putting Gunther over. I do think it's going to be multiple false finishes, the AAs, but I think he's probably going to get in that sleeper hold or something. Gunther, I think, is going to win. If you have Cena win, I don't really know. I mean, you could do the whole thing where it's the Rocky for the Dragon, the whole mutual respect thing. You could do that, and that sort of turns Gunther. I don't think he's facing Brock, though, at this Mania. I don't think that's the direction they're going. I don't know where they're going with Brock, to be honest, but I just don't think it's Gunther Brock this year. I don't know why, but I don't know what either one of them's doing. But I would think Cena would take the loss. I would think, because Cena's very much a traditionalist. Now, Taker, they had Taker right off into the sunset with a win, so maybe they would do it with Cena too.
Sting.
It's possible.
Company, but
yeah, you know what I mean? You're of that tier where you could do it, but Cena very much to me is the type that would want to lose, I think. I could be wrong. Yeah. I know everyone wanted the Edge match. Everyone wanted Edge, but that was never going to happen.
I'm right there with you on the Cena's preference probably to lose.
Yes.
And it is Christmas season. So in the words of the Grinch, I have a wicked, awful idea. But I'm excited about it, and I want to hear you guys' thoughts on it really quick before we go home. I think the perfect way you book this match is Gunther dominates early. Early. All the chops, all the clotheslines. He's in his bag, as the kids would say. And then Super Cena one last time. The comeback of the century. The best thing as far as babyface comebacks are concerned since hulking up. And we're going to get shoulder blocks. and we're going to get all 5 moves of doom plus. We're going to get 5 moves of doom plus. And then in the very end, Gunther has him in a submission and he doesn't give up. And then we get 5 more moves of doom. And then Gunther gets him in an Owen Hart finish. And that's it. And there's this brief moment where they stand up and they look at each other and they shake hands. And Gunther walks out of the ring honorably because he respects wrestling as much as he does. Because he's the ring general, and I'll say it correctly this time. And on the way back over there, John's about to have his big retirement thank you for everything speech. And Brock Lesnar's music hits. The guy that said he was going to suplex John Cena into retirement. And you know who stops him? Gunther. Gunther stops him halfway up the ramp and says, no. And maybe they even brawl all the way to backstage. And then we give John Cena the time that he deserves on this program to say what he does. But Gunther is in the perfect position to stand up to Brock Lesnar and be that challenger. And then we can have that match and we can see what it looks like. And psychologically, the guy that respects the sport versus the guy that doesn't, that's the message you can send in this moment. And I think it's one of the few times where that actually works out. And that is the route that I would go personally. If it was me, that's how we do this. And John Cena gets his time and he has the moment. And I absolutely love it. I do appreciate these comments. Thank you so much from Andre. That's got to be Driz. Good to see you as always. Big Driz. Thank you. Clark is cooking, doing my best. And then Clark has never sounded smarter. That gave me chills. Yeah, man. I think that's the best way to do this. And you have the Owen Hart finish. It's a little bit similar. You know, he's invoked the way he got his opportunity, especially against Kurt Angle. You had a lot of like roll-ups in that style of wrestling in that encounter and whatnot. To have something like sort of that happen, and then that's how you can explain the Brock part. That's how you can build beyond out of it and still get John Cena and his full retirement. I mean, that to me would be my dream scenario when it comes to this final match. I mean, with that though, guys, I think that's going to bring us to the end of today's show. And I appreciate everybody. Oh, DCX Warlord just made it. Thank you, Clark. Being smart is not a surprise. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Everybody that tuned in, as always, we're going to be back same time, same place tomorrow. It's going to be a Sunday fun day. It's going to be an absolute blast. We have an awesome crew. Check that out. That's going to be, of course, at noon Pacific, 3 o'clock over on the East Coast, 8 o'clock in the UK, and 9 a.m. for my good friends in Hawaii. I hope you have a great rest of your Saturday. Tune in to NXT tonight, though, because remember, off the air immediately following, that's going to be me, Big Driz, who's in the chat right now, as well as Shoddy. Yes, off the air, no doubt about it. Tune in. If you didn't have Saturday night plans, you do now. Check that out. On behalf of me, Clark, Anthony, Davis, everybody at WR, you have a great rest of your weekend, and we will talk to you soon. Whatever.